All right, thank you so much for tuning into this video. So I'll go ahead and get straight to the point. You are starting your real estate investing journey or your wholesale journey, and you are trying to figure out what's the best place to find lists, all right? Now, two of the main competitors that I say is worth mentioning is Listsource and Propstream. You're trying to decide which one of these are better for what you're doing. Now, for me, I would say it depends on what your strategy is and what's important to you when it comes to actual lead generation and what information is important to you. Now, I'll go ahead and list off some pros and cons so that you can go through with this information and from there make your decision. I'll let you know at the end what I prefer, but you can go ahead and take this information and then do your own due diligence to figure out what actually makes sense for you. So I'll go ahead and start off with Listsource. So some of the pros that you'll have there is Listsource can get super detailed and super granular when it comes to information about individuals. So some of the things that you can look up is marital status, education. I believe you can look up race. You can look up so many different pieces of information when you're going into those filters, right? And recently, something that I saw besides education as well is you can look up things like likely to apply for a HELOC, likely to refinance, likely to list their homes. So there's a lot of information that they have that can be very useful depending on what's important to you and what your marketing strategy is. Now, some of the cons is it's expensive, right? So when I say it's expensive, you're paying for how many names you're actually getting on a list, right? So compared to other softwares to where you're just paying monthly subscriptions and they limit how many you actually send with Listsource, it's hey, send however you want, but every single list that you make, you're gonna have to pay for that. So that's my main con when it comes to Listsource, is that it just adds up so fast, right? And you don't have a map or a visual of where these properties are. So if you if you're creating a list and you're going through like a city, or if you're going through a particular zip code and you're creating all this criteria, there isn't a visual of, okay, well, what part of town has the most of these type of people? There's no visual to actually see that. You just get a list of those properties with the information that's there. And another thing that is a con, but it's not designed to do this, but I would say it's a con, is that you can't import a major list and filter out certain information, right? You use Listsource to create lists and then it gives you information. You don't necessarily give it information. And also you can't get information on a singular home. So if you find information or if you find a house, you can't go in and figure out all the details about that singular house. What you do with Listsource is, hey, give me the filters, and Listsource is like, boom, here's the information, right? So that's what Listsource is about. So it's great if your marketing strategy requires knowing education level, knowing race, knowing likely to apply for a HELOC, knowing all those super granular things. Like if you need to know that, and even if you're not in real estate, right? That's something that can be very useful to you, okay? Now, when it comes to Propstream, all right, what I love about it is, one, it's the cost. I believe it's like 97 bucks a month, and you can make several lists. It's not unlimited. You have to check with your particular account to see how many names you can actually download a month. But it is tens of thousands that you can actually do. It's amazing. So it's a great software just for 97 bucks. All right, and you can also get singular property details. So you could go in, put in an address, and get all the details about that specific property, right? So if you want to figure out, oh, do they have any liens? Is this a pre-foreclosure? Even though sometimes it's delayed, right? But you can go in and get information about that particular house. All right, some other things that you'll be able to get. Who's the owner of that property? What's the MLS details? Is it listed? How long has it been listed for? Has it been listed, before? You can look up if an LLC or some type of entity owns that property. And something that's really great is that you can actually, if you upgrade to their premium model, I think it's about like 200 something bucks or something like that, or 197, whatever their price is, you can actually create a list on the outside. So for example, if you're driving for dollars, you can actually create your list and then import that list into Batch, and then it'll generate that list for you. So why is that important? So as you're driving for dollars, you're just writing down addresses, right? And you want to get the name and information of each of those individuals. So what you can do is you import that list, and it tells you the name, it tells you their mailing address. If it's important to know the mailing address as well, because that property may not be where they live. It might be a rental property, or it just may be an additional property that they have. So with that information, it is useful to know if you're going to be sending mailers, where to send that information to. All right. And also with that, I personally do not use Propstream to do my skip tracing. One of the main reasons is because they cannot skip trace LLCs, which is one of my cons for this program. But you do have the ability to skip trace with Propstream as well. And something that's great is you can actually see a map of where these properties are located. So as you're getting details of these properties, as you're creating your own filters, you can actually go in and see on a map where these properties are in correlation to other parts of the city. All right, you can also do things like using a heat map to show you, like for example, you put up a particular filter that says you want to see the growth of what parts of this city had the highest growth in rent, right? And it'll actually show you on a map, hey, these are the areas that have the highest percentage of growth in the last 3 years, or the last 6 months. Like, you can actually see what's going on and see where the cluster of properties are, and you can make a strategy based off of that. All right, and now also, I don't use this function, but you have the ability to do things like sending postcards and mailers through that Propstream software. All right, now going into the cons. The details that you get in Propstream, it's not close to what Listsource does. Now, Listsource is OD. When it comes to how granular you want to get, they really go deep into how deep you can get into the specific person that you're trying to market to. I feel like Propstream does a great job for what it's designed for, which is for real estate investors trying to find motivated sellers. I don't need to know the education level of somebody to figure out if they're motivated or not. Right? People that have college degrees and people who don't have college degrees both foreclose on their properties, right? So those types of information is not as important to me, but Propstream does a great job of what they do, right? And also when it comes to importing a list, what sucks is that there is a price jump in order to have that feature. So Propstream, if you're listening, if you could just put that feature on the cheaper model, oh my gosh, like that would be amazing. But I understand you got to make your money, right? And lastly, like I said before, I can't skip trace LLCs, but with batch leads, you can do that. So that's my information when it comes to Listsource and Propstream. And as promised, I said I was going to let you know which one I prefer, and it's Propstream, right? I love to use Propstream. Propstream is what I use to generate my list that I market to. All right, now I'm not saying that you have to, but just in case you didn't want to, you can actually go ahead and click on a link below. And with that, you'll be able to have a 7-day free trial to actually use Propstream. And like I tell people all the time, hey, look, on day 6, if you're not feeling it, go ahead and cancel. Okay, don't wait until day 7 and 8 and say, wait, hold on, why'd you guys charge me? It's a 7-day free trial. I'm telling you right now, just in case you forget, just set a reminder for yourself on day 6, like, hey, I need to get off of this because I'm not feeling it, right? So I'm thinking about creating a course for Propstream as well, mini course, just to kind of show people the ins and outs of what the program is actually about. So if you find that that would be useful for you, go ahead and put that in a comment below and say, yes, it would be useful. And I'll go ahead and cook something up for you guys soon. So thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you found any value in what I shared with you today, go ahead and like this video and also subscribe to this channel so that you're notified of whenever I'm posting another video. And I think there's a bell somewhere. Go ahead and click that bell as well. All right, so thank y'all so much for tuning into this video. And like always, I cannot wait for you to get your next deal. I'll see you in the next video.